price we have found. Over 1,100 have been ordered today. It's 8:39 a.m. right here on the East Coast. If you have ever picked up a Kindle, please share your story with us right here at QVC and let us know that wonderful story at 800-395-1601. What you're looking at is one of the two brand new colors that you're seeing right here with the all-new Amazon Kindle Paperwhite. Beautiful display here. I was actually just looking up some recipes here by my boy David Venable. But let's show you what we have to offer with today's special value. This is fantastic. This is the newest and latest model. It has just arrived with us here at QVC. The beautiful 16 gigabyte with 7-inch glare-free screen. This is fantastic. So you're getting your Kindle Paperwhite e-reader and your USB-C charging cable for $129.98 or 5 easy payments of $26. Here is your classic black, and then two brand new colors, raspberry, which was very popular at midnight, and that beautiful deep jade. But oftentimes you see us here talking about, you know, different sorts of things here at QVC, and we have to like move the screen around to make sure there's no glare with our great big bright studio lights here. In this case, glare-free. This is fantastic, and this Paperwhite is the best-selling Kindle, and this new model has just arrived with us here. Again, lowest price we have found. We've got the wonderful Brett Hamilton in the house to tell us all about this fantastic, hassle-free Kindle.
Yeah, and who thought you could reinvent the wheel? You know, we've been reading for as long as we've been alive, and time and all the other good stuff, and going back into history, and lots of different genres to read. But what if you could put all of them in one device? Meaning, like, we look at this bookshelf over here, and I just noticed this was here because it wasn't here at midnight.
Right.
I don't know, maybe there's a couple dozen books there. You could stick 10, 15,000 books in what's in Steve's hand right now.
Look at this.
I'll say that again.
Yes,
thousands,
the palm of my hand,
and thousands of books. A 16 gigabyte storage space, who cares what the number is? Just know that you're never going to run out of room. And anytime you want a book, any time of the day, as long as you're connected to the internet, it's there.
That's awesome.
And if you take a look at my screen here, you'll see the upgrades to the new version of the Kindle. This was just released back in October. And now we've got a 7-inch screen. We've got these faster page turns. And I always say, whether it's a tablet or a computer, best way, Steve, to kick the tires is to tap onto it and make sure that it reacts. But for those of you wondering, well, how does it happen? Where does it all come from? It comes from right here. That's your home screen. And your entire library, for those of you that have an older Kindle, will populate here again. You still have to tap to make sure that book lives in the Kindle itself. So they're not going to actually download all those books for you, but you still own them. So anybody that has books from a previous version of the Kindle, don't worry, you still have access to them. And then you go down here and you start to explore in the store, and there's a search engine up top here. So all you would do is just tap onto it, and inside you would get the keyboard and be able to look for whatever it is that you're interested in reading at that specific time.
This is great. What is not happening here are pop-ups of advertisements and your social media and your email notification. This is your library. This is how you read, kick back, turn your phone over. Don't have to worry about that anymore. All the pop-ups happening on the phone, no, that goes over, and you get to dedicate that time to you to read and really take advantage of that special moment for yourself.
Yeah,
right?
and I think that's why the Kindle is having this reinvent, so to speak. You know, the Kindle is actually the first item from Amazon that I ever showed on QVC 10, 12 years ago. And back then, Amazon hadn't gotten to the tablet game yet, and everybody thought, this is really cool. It could never get any bigger than this. Tablets came out, and you're right, we were inundated with everything else. Social media and text messages and emails and phone calls, because honestly, not that I need to show you what a phone looks like, but if you're flipping through a book on here, or you're reading an article or whatever it might be, chances are something's going to get in the way. And you know what? You're not going to get back to what it is that you were doing, and that was reading a book. But something else that's a lot different, Steve, from the beginning, going back those 10, 12 years, however old the original Kindle is. And by the way, this is the most recent version. Check this out. Let me just walk you through the ability to be able to customize your experience. And what do I mean by that, Steve? I mean that if you're reading through a cookbook here, and you go, man, where are my glasses? They're somewhere in the house here. I'm going to stop. No, you're not. You're not going to stop and do anything else. You're just going to tap onto the screen, and you're going to go like this. And when you go like this, it automatically makes the font larger. Look at that. Look how much bigger that is.
It's so convenient.
And so easy to go and manipulate. So for those of you at home right now, Steve, going, it's tech, it's tech. I can't, you can.
Right.
You can, because you know what? Everything that I'm going to show you in these 12 minutes, you don't have to take advantage of the customization, but you should, because it's not just making the fonts bigger and stuff like that. It's the ability to be able to do stuff like this. Okay, we're reading the book, and this is not the best example, but let's say I don't know what the word channeling means. If I tap onto that word, now I do, because there's the dictionary.
Oh.
It gets cooler. Watch this. There's Wikipedia giving me the source, giving me the origin of this word, how to use it in a sentence, where it came from. And one final thing, which I think is really, really cool, is it will translate that word for you into a number of different languages simply by tapping on there. So,
that's cool.
yeah, I don't speak Dutch. I barely speak English. And, traditional Chinese. Look at that. Like, okay, I don't know how. Actually, I don't even think it's gonna. I don't think it's even that smart to go into Chinese.
Right.
But if I go over here to Danish, look at that. It went and found that. Now, is there a need for that every single time you're reading? No. But it's nice to know, to your point about the distractions,
right.
When we were growing up, if you're reading a book and you don't know the meaning of the word, the irony is you had to go get another book. It's called a dictionary.
Yeah.
And look that word up. Not with this.
I got to tell you, I mean, you're never too old to be a student, and that is so fun and so wonderful, and that's what's so fantastic about this. Looking up words, learning new things. You know, all of us want to learn a little bit something, and in this case, we can even take it to a whole nother language. Now is the time to embrace this moment for each and every one of us right now. And exactly, we are living in this age of possibility, and that's what's so wonderful about this. If you've ever wanted to create that personal library for yourself, this is that moment. I got to be honest with you, when I moved to New York City in 2006, I had to leave so many of my books behind in California because they were just going to take up too much space. And then with my teeny tiny little apartment, I mean, I actually just stopped reading because it was just taking up too much space. And so this is such a wonderful opportunity for you to have that little library in the palm of your hand, 7 inches by 5 inches versus the buildup of books. And that is what's so wonderful about the Kindle. And at this today's special value price of $129.98 in the palm of your hand, all of the wonderful books that maybe you've read and you want to get back, or maybe you want to come back to and to your favorite authors and pick up some of their new collections. Here is that moment. This also has a fantastic waterproof design that we're seeing here in the bubbly bathtub.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we all love to read in the bath. Maybe we're reading at the beach. That's all of us. Maybe we're reading in the backyard and start to sprinkle. Not to worry here with this cool waterproof design. Brett, this is fantastic.
Do you read in the tub? Do you ever read in the well, not in the shower, the tub. Well, you could.
I don't take the bath. I don't.
Oh, well.
A shower.
By the beach? Yes, by the beach she will.
Yeah. Look at this. So if it takes a hit, or it takes a little spill, or it starts to rain, or more importantly, I mean, listen, does everybody have time for a rig like this every single day? No. But it's nice to. But if you took a book and you're in the tub, either one of your hands touches the water, you're not touching the pages because the book is trashed.
Right.
This is completely waterproof. It's not just water resistant, meaning if this tub was full right now and it fell in, it'll survive. And check this out. Look at that. That's not just a little bit of water.
You really drenched that.
I soaked it.
We had a thunderstorm happening here.
Right. Listen, are you going to use that all the time? No. But how many? Almost everybody can relate to the old phone situation where it fell in the tub, or it fell in the toilet, or it got wet, and then it's trashed.
Yeah.
Well, here's another electronic you don't need to worry about because it is completely waterproof.
Very, very
cool.
I mean, so many features happening on here. I gotta admit, one of my favorite features here, I just sort of dropped down, I can show you right here. So basically, when you pull this down right here at the top, you've got your settings here. I've got it on the brightest setting right now because we've got super bright lights here in the studio. But if I was in bed, I'd be down real nice and bright. Maybe I wanted to warm that screen up to almost like an amber-like mode.
Yep.
Now I have something a little bit deeper and darker that's not going to be blaring at me in bed. Maybe my partner's asleep. It's pitch black in the bedroom. This is such a cool way for you to go ahead and really kind of customize this to your liking, which I think is really, really fantastic because let's face it, we're going to be reading in different times of the day, right?
Well, and it's also not a great idea, and there's lots of research behind this, to sit with your device in bed as the last thing you do before you fall asleep.
Yeah.
All that light is just messing with your brain, and it's not allowing you to shut down. This uses something called e-ink, and I'm not going to nerd out on you, but the way e-ink works is it's all these little tiny microcapsules. They're about the size of a human hair, millions of them. And what they do is they kind of lay in the background here, and when they get a charge, they either turn black or white, depending on what this is programmed for. White becomes the paper, black becomes the font. Black becomes the text, black becomes whatever it is that you're looking at, including these black and white photos. So in turn, that means that not only can you read in the evening, being able to adjust that in pitch black, but you can do something you can't do on a tablet or a phone, and you can read in direct sunlight.
Ah, so cool.
If you're out back, if you're on your deck, if you're on vacation or whatever it might be, and you try to look at something on your phone, you know, how many people do you see on the beach? I never understood this, why people are on their phones all day long when they're lucky enough to be at the beach.
Truly.
But they're like this. They're
Yes.
I'm like, put that thing away.
I
But
know, right?
This is a book, and this is meant to be read, and you can read it anywhere, because a lot of people will go, well, I know if I try to read it on a tablet, I'd rather have my book. I'd rather have my paperback or hard cover book,
Right.
because I don't have to worry about the sun. So there's a lot of advantages that we don't think about in something like this, including for the kids.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to get your kids back into reading, how about being able to hand them the whole world of books? I mean, there are millions, I'm not exaggerating when I say millions and millions of books that they can
So
choose
cool.
from. And you can do parental controls as well, so that they're not going and buying stuff that they shouldn't or spending money on books they're not going to read. You have complete control.
This is wonderful. And you're looking at the 3 different color options we have with this today's special
Pieces.
value price of $129.98. 5 easy payments of $26. That speaker was just reading the book. We're going to get into that here
sorry
in a
about that.
moment. 3 different color options for you to choose from: black, raspberry, and then the jade. This raspberry and jade, new colors us here at the Q. If you have this in your cart, do not forget to check out. All of these are very popular. 5,800 now ordered since midnight. 1,300 in this show alone, which is fantastic. This is that time for you to say, you know what? I'm gonna pick up that book. I'm gonna start reading again. Not just a book, an entire library of opportunities here. As Brett's been telling us, millions of different options. Create that curated library just for yourself right here. It is absolutely fantastic. And this model, brand new this season. And for us here at QVC, lowest price we have found at less than $130. I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah, and if I could make one recommendation, even if you don't get it from us, please protect the device itself. In fact,
Yeah.
Steve, it's as simple as just taking it. We have the color to match each one of these.
Oh,
you pop it in,
nice.
and that way, aside from it being waterproof, you don't have to worry if it you wouldn't do that on the device if it wasn't protected. You notice how I open it up and like, is it still there? It is still there. So anyway, this is, as much as we've shown you before, and I know for some of you, like, wow, that's a lot of information in a short period of time. The good news is it's a very simple device. You have 16 gigs of storage and access, as Steve just said, to millions and millions of titles, not only in the Kindle store, but I'll tell you in a second about how you can get books for free from your local library. It is completely waterproof, so if it could be a little splash like this, it could be water, it could be wine, preferably the water so you don't waste the wine.
Right.
But yeah, just dab it off, just dry it off, and you're ready to go. Completely portable. As long as you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can download books, but you don't have to be connected to Wi-Fi to read your books, as long as they've been downloaded inside there. 7-inch display means it's bigger than the previous version. It also has a faster processor, and it's got a 12-week battery life. Not 12 hours, not 12 days. It's got 12 weeks, which means you're never charging this thing. A glare-free screen, which we've been showing you, and you mentioned, thank you, at the very top.
Yeah.
It's my gig at this place. One of the most difficult things is when I'm showing a tablet, a screen, whatever it might be, I'm always aware of the glare, because it just never naturally comes together. And this has been a real treat over the last few hours so far to not have to worry about that
Honestly.
on TV. I want to show you guys something pretty cool. A lot of you go, well, my vision's not as good as it used to be. I still enjoy reading, and I get it that I can increase the font size. How about somebody reading the book to me? And I kind of stumbled across this feature, and I want to share it with you. Voice View Screen Reader. What does that mean? Well, here's the book, the cookbook from David right here. Now, you need a Bluetooth speaker or Bluetooth headphones or something like that in order to make this happen, because there are no internal speakers inside. But
Pieces of boneless chicken breast
Look at
are
that.
dusted with ranch seasoning, then wrapped in bacon and given a second sprinkling of ranch.
Now,
Frying these at these.
for those of you going,
Double
how
tap and hold for more options.
did he do that?
Wow.
Watch this.
These appetizers is the only way to get
That's
that
it.
crispiness we all love. Whisk together some sour cream, barbecue.
Now, stop and think about
Double tap
what that
and
does
hold
for
for
your
more
reading
options.
experience. Let's say you got a pair of Bose earbuds, headphones, whatever it might be. You don't want to disturb husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. And you're in bed and you're in the middle of this book and you're like, God, this is so good. I just wish, I don't want to fall asleep. Wait a second. Put my earbuds in.